They combine acrobatic dance with activism. For almost 30 years, Flyaway Productions has been offering spectacular performances on the sides of buildings and other structures, sometimes as high as 100 feet in the air. Joining me now is Artistic Director Joe and member from the ComptonxCoalition, Dan. Thank you both so much for being here at Live in the Bay.
Thanks for having us.
Yes, this is such an important partnership that you guys have, and I'm excited to kind of dive into it. But first, Joe, tell me about Flyaway Productions and everything that you guys do.
Yeah, we're in our 29th year, and we make dances that are off the ground, site-specific, meaning they are made for specific places, and the dances are also justice-driven. So I am a political science major, not a dance major, and it's been really important to me to bring a justice lens, a racial justice lens, a gender justice lens to the artistic work that I bring out to the community. And part of that means partnering with folks who aren't dance artists necessarily, but who are doing the work of making our city better, making community stronger.
Yes, and Dan, that's where you come in here. You guys have joined together for your partnership. So tell me about your organization.
Yeah, absolutely. So first of all, I just want to shout out to our coalition members who've been behind this as well as Dr. Susan Stryker, whose research has really unveiled the history of Comptons. And to say that, you know, dance here collapses time, right? We see bodies holding the memory of the riot while also embodying the future of what this space can be. And I think that's a beautiful metaphor for what we're doing with ComptonxCoalition, which is to transform the site at 111 Taylor. And part of that is, you know, transitioning the building from the private prison group to the community, right? So instead of incarceration being the anchor of profit and exploitation, we are really turning to the community to kind of help us envision what that space can be as we transform it into a space for the community.
And so you've done this with the performance that you have come up with for this location. Tell me about the Down on the Corner and kind of what this means and everything that went into it.
Yeah, this is I can't even remember, maybe my 15th piece in the Tenderloin. I've been dancing there since 1995. Wow. And one of the things that's true about the Tenderloin is a lot of people live in single occupancy hotels. So one's living room, one's kitchen, one's hangout space is on the corner. It's down on the corner. There's a corner culture there. There's a kindness there. There's a way that people look out for each other. There's also a lot of hard times there. And I love to create dances. We've been on the site for a month building the piece section by section in public, you know, people walking by shouting, "What is that? What are you doing? Stay safe, jump, jump." You know, they say all kinds of things. We also get some really insightful ideas. But we're dancing on a hotel, SRO hotel, that's opposite 111 Taylor, which is the site of Compton's cafeteria from 1966, and now a halfway house that's owned by Geo Group, which in my opinion is not a good actor. They're a bad actor. I don't think they bring the best to communities, to people of color, to trans people. And the interest of the ComptonxCoalition is to transform the building. So we're creating a piece with live music, with film via Leela Wafor. Melanie Demore did the music with 9 amazing dance collaborators to let folks know what the corner was and what it can be. And I'll just give you a little example. The riot in 1966, Susan Stryker's scholarship revealed that the riot started when a woman in the cafeteria was really sick of being harassed by police, and she threw her cup of coffee on a cop. And that was the origin story of that riot. So we have a section in the piece called Throw a Cuppa, and we've suspended these real cups, but they're very large. They're 32-ounce cups, so they're big enough to see from the street. And Melanie Demore, the composer, wrote a whole piece of music using the line, "Throw a cuppa at a coppa." And it's beautiful. It's really fantastic. It's bluesy, it's deep, it's conversational, it's subversive. It's the best that art can be to bring forward a little bit of history.
Yeah, I want to dive deeper into these different elements because there's a lot coming together for this this performance and show. And so, you know, let's start with kind of the dancers. And like, we see some video there, they're dangling off the side of the building. You know, how does this all come together?
Well, the Bay Area is really the home of aerial dance. My mentors, Terry Sengraff and Joanna Highgood, Terry's no longer living, but worked and continue to work. And so my experience of aerial dance is inherited. And I have a signature in bringing a very strong political lens to the work and also bringing props and sets to the work. So the dancers are very safe, I'll say that. We work with a rigging team, very professional rigging team. There's always riggers on site checking everything all the time. And the dancers are highly trained. Sometimes they come from gymnastics. Sometimes Gia Jackson comes from cheerleading, though she's also a PhD student, very well-rounded person. In this particular piece, we've chosen to highlight some trans and non-binary artists in the project. Quinn Dior is a young dancer, relatively new to the city, who brings beautiful knowledge and physical knowledge to the piece. And then some long-term dancers of Flyaway Productions, Megan Lowe, Sanchez Giles, Mary Star Hope. The dancers are fearless. They are trained well. They really listen. They listen to the building in terms of its architecture for safety and for information. They, you know, I do a whole lot of research and they read a lot before they start. So they're starting the piece from a place of pretty steeped in knowledge, both physically and intellectually.
Dan, what is the hope that you have? I just want to give you our last question here. What is the hope that you want everyone to take away from this beautiful performance art that is happening?
Yeah, well, I think that, you know, this is a story of, you know, bodies in conflict with the state, right? So as Joe was saying, we have, you know, trans women and drag queens that were fighting against, you know, police control over how they dressed, how they moved through space, and how they simply took up public space. And I think people in the trans community can see themselves as part of that history, right? And kind of recognize the significance of that building. And I think, you know, it's also important to put that into a larger context of anti-carceral resistance and seeing that we can recognize struggles across different movements, right? And so coming together to try to see how we can transform the space that can really serve the communities in Tenderloin.
Yeah, well, thank you both so much for joining us. Really quickly, where can people get information on when they can catch these performances?
Flyawayproductions.com
Okay.
or on Instagram at flyawayproductions-SF.
Perfect.